So apparently it's cuffing season and it's time to get a big boy or a boy, something like that. And I have an update from having a boy over. Nothing crazy happened at all. I don't know how to classify what that was. It wasn't a date. It was a somewhat invitation, I guess, even though he kind of invited himself. I'm happy he did, but I'm like, you could just ask to hang out with me, or take me out. But these men these days, I think they just don't really know what to do with what I am hesitantly calling myself to be, which is an alpha. I think I might be an alpha. But we're going to get into it. Welcome back to the Girls Room, Date IRL. As I date IRL in real life, we are back in the Girls Room with another therapy session. I am back in my bathroom with a session. Oh, my roommate just came back. And I'm excited for this week. So it's Sunday. I had to really stop down yesterday and then just recently. I know I'm on grind mode and it's super hardcore me time, but there's still so much happening all of the time, with work, with just the weekends being so limiting and short, and you want to go out and hang out with friends and all that, so it's hard for me to put myself first in moments, but not anymore. And actually there's this book that I'm reading because I've just been going through different books to really tap into my educational enrichment part of this self-love journey. And the books and the podcast, it's all helping me really elevate the way I want, even if right now it's just making sure that my mentality is strong. I feel that's the first step. Mentally, it's joy season, which is grind season. It's time to go. I'm single, no kids. This is the best time to do it, and I really have that fight in me. So I'm just constantly trying to activate it, make sure that I'm activating it. And obviously also look for love, I guess. Let love find me. But it's just interesting. It's interesting to figure out how to be in love with yourself and also and want to love yourself more, and also bring somebody in to your life, or bring people into your life, because I do need a roster, and we'll see if I keep that up. But it's hard to juggle all of that, because I'm gonna put me first all the time. Me, myself, and I'm choosing me this season, all seasons. But I also know that I want to be married at some point, and maybe sometime soon, within 5 years, just practically speaking. So I'm just juggling that, as I think we all are. And one of the books I'm reading right now, I'm almost done, and I'm happy I finally started reading it, because I've heard about it forever. It's just one of those staples, The Richest Man in Babylon, and it's an easy read. It's pretty light. It's maybe 150 pages or something, but it reads really quickly for the most part. I kind of want to savor it and just make sure that I'm reading for real, not just comprehension, but for application. Okay, here are the steps that you're giving me through these parables that I keep hearing. I'm hearing in my favorite podcasts. I'm remembering that I read that in a book a while ago, and it's reinforcing this idea to put you first. It's like everyone says it in different ways. When it comes to love, it's self-love first. When it comes to finances, it's pay yourself first. And that really, really, really stands out for me because it just solidifies that if you're not good, nothing else is going to be good. You're not going to be able to bear fruit. And so I just want to continue to pour in everything that I can right now. And I'm just really excited. And I love these moments of like motivation and inspiration and action. And of course, I have to thank one of my favorite drinks. One day they'll sponsor me. But it's a euphoric seltzer. It doesn't have any like drugs or alcohol or anything in it. I'm just an energy, euphoric, creative nut. Like I need it constantly. I'm pretty high energy anyways. So I like to always have like energy kind of bottled up or focus bottled up, and I'm trying to create the best brews. So getting into pretty much what I'm like learning and wanting to tap in more as I entertain guests and dating and love and knowing that this is what I want now and I have to do something about it. I am learning the type of person I am around these men. And I've seen different sides of me, and my friends have too, seen different sides of me with different men, because in a lot of ways, people bring out different sides of you. So I'm always going to be my authentic self as much as possible, but I've noticed that like with some men, I'm just so giddy. I don't have anything to say. I'm super soft and putty, but I'm always a little sharp and like quick and witty and a little sarcastic. I always carry that in my back pocket, even when I'm like head over heels struck by lightning because this man is so gorgeous and fine and everything. But when I come out of that, I'm like, wait, what? I always have something to say because that's just who I am. And the other day, I noticed, okay, I am maybe a little type A in moments. Maybe not even type A for real, but I'm like, am I an alpha? I think I might be. Like, I've noticed myself be a little putty like with men, and I'm like, oh, I'm not an alpha at all. Whatever you say goes. But when I think about it, I'm like, no, in those moments where I've really just been like, okay, you're in the driver's seat, I've been really young and impressionable, and these men have been older than me. Some maybe a couple years, but others like 10 or 11, which looking back at, I'm like, you really are dating somebody 10 years younger than you? That's messed up. That is so manipulative. And so I think in those moments I was stripped from who I really am. And there were still moments where I would like fight, but I'm like, I was so young and naive and, all these things, that I didn't stand strong on a lot of stuff because I was still figuring out my boundaries and myself. That now I'm like, no, I know who I am. I'm gonna be normal and natural. And that's what my roommate mentioned to me the other day. She was like, oh, you were really yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I was. I guess that's good. Like, I obviously want to be myself all of the time, but I didn't have to, but I chose to apologize to my guest because I remember kicking him. It was a playful kick. And I kind of like beat him up in the corner just a little bit. He was like, you're kind of strong. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, wait a second here. Um, I am who I am. Like, I like to play a little rough sometimes, and I feel like the right person for me will like that too, and also be able to diffuse that. Like, I don't imagine myself bullying the father of my children, my husband. That's not gonna happen. And that's not what I did either. Not a bully. I'm a non-violent person, but I just noticed I was so comfortable with this person, and it made me question some things. I'm like, okay, yes, there are like these like weird initial kind of nervous moments that maybe see themselves throughout the entirety of just like being in each other's space, but overwhelmingly I was just very comfortable, very much felt like I've known this person for a while, and just kind of like fell into this like, oh, I like, that's Bay. And I'm like, what's happening? Because it's not, and I'm not, not. But I do want to watch myself because I don't want to get too comfortable. And I know my vision and my mission and my goals, and I don't want to accidentally fall into this like, oh, we just kind of got really comfortable with each other immediately and we didn't like grow into an actual like dating stage. And this just goes for everyone, and I just kind of noticed it the other day because he was here, that though I like the comfort and it feels really good to not be like sitting on the edge of the couch because you're nervous with touch, it was nice to kind of feel the opposite and kind of operate like we've done this before. But I have to be mindful that I'm looking for a husband, and it might not be like I'm on the hunt right now, like there's pressure, you better step up or do whatever. It's not that. It's just like, is my husband somebody that I'm going to just be cool with off top? Like, are we just friends? Because I don't really want that. Like, I don't want just a friend, but I also do want a friend. Like, I want a best friend that I can make out with. But that I'm like romantically interested in. And so I feel like I felt the friendship potential, that comfort level that I think every strong relationship needs, just a good rapport. But now I'm like, okay, maybe I need to soften up and obviously not kick anyone. And you know, you could say that's just the way I flirt. People do it in grade school. It's like, I like you so much. That's me. I'm like Louise in Bob's Burgers when she was so fascinated with the Boys for Now group, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so cute, I just want to punch you in the face. That's a small dose of me, or I have small doses of her, a little bit. And looking back, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, we'll see how far this goes, like that. But I know that now I have to make a conscious effort to be a little more gentle, because I am, and I don't want a relationship situation. I don't want any relationship with any person, man or woman, that only sees one side of me, or that only taps into the goofy side of me. Because yes, I am goofy, but it's going to be a really rude awakening when I'm not. And when my type A kind of like big dog comes out, you're going to be like, I thought it was all games. I thought it was unserious. And I'm like, yeah, it was. But it's not anymore. Like, I'm not playing. And so I need to interject a little bit and maybe curate certain environments where you can see the multifaceted side of me, where Yes, I am very unserious and I will talk a little crap. I can be a little sarcastic, but it's all love. And like maybe I'm a little comedian. I'm not trying to be, but like life is funny, like lighten up. But I do want, maybe not butterflies because I heard that's like anxiety. And I'm like, I could see that because I'm like, I don't want butterflies when I like see you or when I'm about to see you. I want to be my authentic self, but I also want to be soft because I am. Like, I'm a soft girl. And I feel like I want what most women want. Like, I want to be taken care of, but I'm also in this state right now where I'm like going and I'm getting it. And I'm excited to be assertive and aggressive because I have to be right now. And I don't want anyone to strip that from me. It's not like I have to be strong, but I don't want to. And I'm like, no, I want to be strong. Like, I love that I'm activating this side of myself where I want to kill it at work. I want to be in the room with the bosses because I want to be a boss because that's how I feel inside. Like, sooner or later, I'm gonna probably end up disrespecting some people because I don't have a worker bee mentality so much. I'm like, yeah, I'll work for you because I want to grow and I want to learn and all this stuff, but not for long. And I always have to manage how I talk to my boss in moments. And he's like, you always have a but, a this, a that. And I'm like, yeah, because just because you're my boss doesn't make you right all the time. But obviously, I respect your opinions. And I'm like, can I say that? Can I say that to a boss? I don't know. But I'm a boss. I just haven't really tapped into it fully, which is the stage that I am now. So every man that gets to experience me right now is going to experience a boss. And in the best way, because you're going to want that for the mother of your children and your future wife. You might want a yes girl or somebody a little docile in the beginning because it's cute. You might think you want this just trophy wife where she just looks good when you take her out and all the guys are like, who's that? But you're going to get bored with that because that's not sustainable for a true partnership, at least one that I want. So maybe it's good that I'm kicking people. No, I won't do that again. I mean, it really wasn't even like a real kick. It was just kind of like it was a love tap for sure. And I'm like, oh my God, let me not friend zone this person and let me not get friend zoned. Like, or, because I don't really want another friend and I don't want this gray area. Like, yeah, I'm go with the flow and I'm figuring it out, but I will figure it out with or without you. So let me figure out if you're gonna be on this train with me. Let's talk about it. And that's what I also am learning from this interaction, that I think I need to dial up the communication. Well, one, I need to figure out what I want from any person on the roster because they're all individuals. And this one, we'll call him number one. What will we call him? We'll call him one. I don't know what I want from him yet, which is fine because we're just starting to really kind of get to know each other and have kind of like value led conversations, and that's only going to grow over time. But I'm like on the fence. I don't know, because I do want to be dainty, and so part of me feels like, well, the right person's going to bring that out, and maybe this just isn't that. But I also want to be myself. Like, I don't want to have to always be so like posh and demure because that's truly not me. But I do want to know that you want me to lean into that and that you're going to help me do it by just like supporting me. And yeah, I want to support you as well. But right now, because I am a single woman doing life alone for the most part. It's like you're either getting on or you're getting out. I am not going to sacrifice the growth that I want for myself at all. And this is the time I'm grinding, and I love that it seems like mentally we connected a little bit on values, mentality, which I actually love that he mentioned. I guess that's one of my love languages when it's the right thing, like words of affirmation, I guess, where it's like, oh, you think like this too? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, that's a great starter. And physical touch is definitely a love language for men. Like, friends and family don't need to touch me ever. No, I'm just kidding. Like, a warm embrace, love, all that stuff. But yeah, it's interesting to note how certain things change based off of the people that you're interacting with. Like, with him, certain things were triggered that I was like, oh, okay, I like quality time. Like, I like, oh my God, I don't know why my nose is so itchy. I like when all the attention is on me. I don't want you to even have a phone. So I definitely don't want you to look at it at any point when you're around me. But I get it. You can't say all of that right now. And I'm like, Joy, relax. Like, you can't have everything right now, because I was feeling very alpha in moments. I'm like, do this, do that. And I'm like, wait a second, I can't. Not yet. Like, this is really early, or it's nothing. So I'm like, dial it down. But I think I just want it all. I want all of it right now. And I really don't want to date. Yeah, I just want to skip to husband. So I'm gonna have to figure this out. And I want to be honest about it, but I don't want to come off crazy. And I also don't know these people well enough to say, I don't know, to just be that comfortable in general. Like, oh, let's just date, or let's just be together. Like, definitely not. But let's wrap this up, because I'm gonna lose interest. I'm gonna lose patience, because I already have this much. And you know, you're up against me. So like, you're fighting for time with me, and I'm gonna choose me unless you come out the gate strong. And I'm kind of happy he did not and is not. He's kind of, you know, flat a little bit with his action, which has been a good thing for me, because I'm focusing on these things. And yes, I do want a husband and a father of my children, but I need to still have my eyes on the like ultimate prize, which is all of the other growth, so that that growth can seep in to a marriage and to a partnership. So if I just focus on that, I can't. Like, I've not been historically good when I'm just following a man because I'm, you know, crushing on him or whatever. It feels nice to have control over myself and over a situation, but I also don't want to lean too much in it, because I'm at the point now where I'm like, oh, just do this, just do that. Like, I want to boss him around. I want to boss people around. And I don't think, from what I know of him, just experiencing him and talking to him, he's not going to go for just anything. Like, he seems alpha. It's just funny that I kind of feel alpha, and I'm like, are we going to clash? We didn't the other day. Not really. I think we had good conversation, honestly. I think that these are conversations that I want to have, or the way I want to have conversations, where it's two parties talking to each other. and just civil discourse. And we can disagree a little bit, and he disagreed with me on things that didn't really matter. And he was like, I see your point, but you're wrong. And I'm like, okay, fine. But I also want to like leave room for men to be men. Like, there were moments where I wanted to step into a conversation more when he was talking and he was kind of like making a point and was really finishing his, his thought. And I wanted to just like interject, and I'm like, what am I doing? And as soon as I started opening my mouth, he just kept going, and I'm like, that's good. You keep going. I shouldn't interrupt you anyways, and I'm happy that you seem to be strong in what you're saying. Like, it seems like when you're talking, and I like that. I like that. I don't think I can push you around, even physically. I know you're just gonna allow me to do what I want to do. Like, you're gonna allow me to get kind of rough with you, but not too rough. And I like that. I like it. So it was a cool hangout, but I don't know that I want to have another, because I think that might slow any true progression in the direction that I want.